Hi, I'm Heather from Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening. I'm giving you a tour of my side/front yard garden. I recorded this on March the 31st, and I'm picking up right where I left off from my last garden tour, which covers my raised bed garden areas and the backyard. So this is the side. It runs parallel to the driveway, and this area used to be my asparagus bed, but I had to take that down because of my HOA. So I retransformed this whole side area late fall. You can see I've got hundreds and hundreds of poppies that are popping up over there on the left. Here's some garden phlox. I'm giving it a little shade under these grasses because it doesn't like super heat here. The penstemon I divided last fall. I just kind of showed that to you, but there we go. I divided it. So I put 1/2 in a pot and 1/2 in the ground. Cinnamon girl shrub, and then I've got 2 hardy hibiscus I planted, I think in the winter. I made a video about that. And here you're getting a different view of this area, the new area I created after I had to take down my raised beds. Look at all of these poppies. Wow, they're so cute. So yeah, I've got tons of weeds everywhere. I need to have a day where I just come out and just pull weeds. It's not going to be today though. And this area also has some poppies and some mountain daisies, and also I'm giving you a peek of the other area that I did the tour of last week. There is Maltese Cross up above this area right there. I'm showing you now. More poppies. I've got parsley planted back there for the swallowtail butterflies. More weeds. I think it takes me a minute to get that one out. I try to get all of the root just to save myself some work later. Sometimes it's really hard to do. Let's see, what is that? Chocolate mint. I've got some feverfew up in that container and a beautiful 9-bark. Here's my artichoke. He is about 3 years old. So he's looking really nice. Came out of dormancy super early this year. There's that 9-bark again. I got it on clearance at, I think, gosh, Lowe's last fall. I need to cut down all of the old grass growth from last year, get it ready for summer. And let's see, where are we going next? I can't remember. It's been a couple days since I recorded this. I did buy another pot. I'm supposed to not have many pots in my yard per HOA standards, but I'm trying to strategically hide them. Wallflower that needs to get cut down. You can see my marshmallow plant has come up. Some tulips still left behind. They have done really well this year. I've been spraying them with poopery, and the deer do not seem to like that scent. So one lonely yellow tulip. I never planted yellow, so I don't know how I got that color, unless it was some kind of cross pollination and the seed dropped. And this whole area needs to get worked on. I've got some Gara coming up there. I just planted a beautiful black elephant ear in that empty spot I just showed you. It's going to be like the back story for this whole section. And I think I'm going to give you a front view. And you can see I've got lots of lilies around that first tree. And I've got more daylilies around this crepe myrtle. Still haven't trimmed my crepe myrtle, so I'm going to try to do that today. And then this is my front bed area down by the road, by my mailbox. It's kind of like a cottage garden area. I just usually throw a bunch of different types of seeds in here, but you can see there's lots of larkspur getting quite tall. I cannot wait to see it. It is glorious when it's blooming. Got some tulips still coming up here. I just planted some white Snapdragon. I made a short about that. Here's some California poppies sprinkled in the front bed area. I also used to have, I would grow tomatoes down here. I would grow eggplant, and then the HOA said no. That was some wallflower you just saw. And look, my Linera or money plant is blooming. It did not bloom last year. It's a biannual, so it's like every other year. Some more wallflower coming up. Some daffodils. Oh, that's forget-me-not. I'm trying to show you there. Some daffodils, tulips, and there's some sedum up there. I've got some coneflower everywhere in this area that will be shooting up soon. So now I'm walking to the other side of the driveway. Is a different bed, and you can see I've got my spring flag up. There is one pretty tulip there blooming. And my Gara is down in there coming up. I need to cut off the oak growth, and my aster, one of my favorite asters right there, Lady in Black. And I love this combination. Look at this pansy with these dark tulips. Isn't that just so pretty? I did take a picture of that. I may make it the cover shot for this video. My red twig dogwood is right behind, but I didn't hardly show it to you. I've got yarrow down there, Russian sage, and it looks like there's some more California poppies and larkspur in this area. On the left is a sea holly. That also takes 2 years to bloom, so I'm really, really anxious. That's not the sea holly. Let's see if I show it to you. Right there. It's covered by weeds, but it should be so pretty. Now, I've got another bed here. This is kind of like my middle island in the middle of the front yard. So we've got larkspur tulips there on the left. We've got some shrubs that are starting to flush out with their leaves. I've got poppies. Oh, that's a bachelor button there. Poppies sprinkled here and there, tucked away. They self-seed quite a bit. More tulips. Tons of chickweed, tons of weeds. Definitely will get in trouble from the HOA for having weeds in my flower beds. But look at how pretty these tulips are. And they're about done. So I'm glad I got this tour done before they lost all their petals. This is the back side of the bed we just looked at that had the red twig dogwood. You can see my spirea is flushed completely out with its leaves. It will start to flower soon. It's like a kind of a medium pink color. I think it's going to look so pretty. I've got an open spot right there for annuals. I'm not sure what I'm going to plant, but I do have a lot of seeds started indoors that I can put there. So I've got the two pineapple sages on each side, and they flank this butterfly bush that's in the middle. I think it's called Dark Night. It's a beautiful dark purple. I've got some Maltese Cross down in there I want to transplant. This is my pomegranate tree. I'm expecting it to start budding soon and getting some growth. Some petite daffodils. They were so cute. They're about done. Put a hardy hibiscus in this pot. And I've got a rose in that back pot there. Wallflowers everywhere. And look, I didn't think it was going to come back this year. It's a peony, however you want to say it. And I think I've got gladolias coming up. I didn't know they would come back or not because I'm at zone 7 and they're technically down to zone 8. There's a self-seeded poppy. It's much farther along than the seeds I sprinkled. There's another view of those shrubs. There's some yarrow in a pot. I've got an empty spot here. I'm going to put some hot peppers. This is another hardy hibiscus with some Rudbeckia, 2 Rudbeckia plants, and then a Luna hibiscus in that last pot. And of course, Jeffrey's following me everywhere I go. I don't know if you saw, there were some hollyhocks there, but there's poppies everywhere, so I have to watch, be very careful where I walk. I think that's going to look so pretty. I can't wait to see it. So I think I did this the other day. I put that dianthus in there between 2 painted daisy dianthus. And then I have a cabbage that survived the winter. I was really happy about that. This bed is lined with garlic. And I did have artichokes in those pots, those 3 pots in the front. They didn't make it. And this is just a flowering cherry tree. It was so pretty this spring. And I think we're going to the other bed. So I have another big bed on the far right of where I am right now. Like if you're on the porch, it's to the right. Chickweed. There is my bridal bush. Bridal veil bush. Is it just bridal bush? Some things I've got. Goodness, I'm walking too fast. Some Shosta Daisy on each side there. I've got a clematis going to climb this trellis. And so many weeds. There's some more Maltese Cross, oregano, and weeds, more weeds. Some woolly grasses to help kind of cover up those planters. Okay. Oh, and I've got more peonies coming up. should have 6 in this bed, and I do need to order some more of these cages. Get those guys some food if they need it. And I did transplant that Gardenia that was on the right last fall, and I thought it did well, but half of it looks a little rough, so we'll see what happens. I've got yarrow here, I've got hardy hibiscus, feverfew, and now I think I'm going to walk down and show you the front of this bed. And there's some more wallflower. This is Siberian wallflower. And then I have other wallflowers, I think, over on this side that have different colors. And there's just a mix of things in here. There's some blue gamma grasses in the front, more sea holly. And there's Jeffrey again. And then I've got zebra grass right there in the front. Some more feverfew, just a huge patch of feverfew. I need to trim that back. The yarrow, I need to cut off last year's growth. A few tulips there. Now we're walking up by the house. To the left of my house is just like my graveyard area. So these azaleas were here when I moved here. I do take care of them. So they are flowering. I'll feed them after they bloom. A shrub back there in the corner. And then I've got these beautiful red tulips with these light colored daffodils that I transplanted from the backyard, because daffodils are toxic. So once we fenced in our yard, I had to move those so the dog wouldn't eat. Another peony, and those are also toxic to dogs. I transplanted that from the backyard. Money plant is finally blooming. And if you don't know what money plant is, look it up, because they produce these beautiful coins after flowering, like that are silvery, kind of white. More wallflower, some baby yarrows that self-seeded. I think there's some baby wallflowers in there too. And more yarrow, and then my Lady Laura Camellia, and she's about done. Abelia, I think this is kaleidoscope. And then this shrub, I forgot the name, but it starts with a P. It's supposed to feed the birds in the fall, I think. Then this shrub is just, I cut it back severely last summer, but it's growing wild. I need to do something about that. And I think I'm just showing you the last couple blooms from Lady Laura Camellia. Such a beautiful evergreen shrub. Oh, that was my ligustum I got on clearance at Tractor Supply last year for $5. Sunshine ligustum. That was on my wish list, so when I saw that I was so happy. My lemon balm's coming up. I need to cut back last year's growth. And there's another view of the beds we just looked at. And my dogwood tree, I didn't show you. That's in the center. Here's a picture. It's so beautiful. It's getting ready to flower and open up. And then that was just the front bed there. These are my containers. This is Rebecca, and it looks really rough. I need to get it out of that pot and see if I can help it. I planted these super bells, I guess is what they are. I did buy those the other day because I wanted a pop of color right here. But I do have some perennial things popping up in that container. And there's not a lot going on the steps right now. Some lilies coming up here. But I wanted to show you this one cute thing. So I let my Boston fern die. I didn't want to bring it in this year. So instead I'm planting lady ferns. They're perennial and they go down to like a zone 4, I think. So did you see how cute it was? I think baby ferns are just so adorable. Dianthus I planted right here. I've got hardy hibiscus. I did have perennial spikes, but they died. We got down to 5 or 7 once this winter, and I think it took them out. Just a bunch of shrubs and stuff back on that back area. Some dusty miller that needs some cleaning up. The crocus are done blooming. Look at all this chickweed. It looks like that's all I'm growing is chickweed. I transplanted a sedum the other day, and I broke off 2 pieces, so I put them there, and it looks like they took to that. And look at my non-bark. I love this non-bark, and I love this patio peach. This is one of my favorite trees that we have. I transplanted this. It's called Redneck. It's an iris. And then transplanted some creeping sedum that you can kind of step on every now and then. And I don't have much in there, but a lily, some chocolate and mint that I may move. Thinking about it. And then my rose that I pruned the other day. And it does have some snapdragons down at the bottom and chives. Chives and onions and garlic are good for roses. And here's my hellebore. It's about done. It still looks pretty though. And the primrose, even though it doesn't get sun, it is still blooming and looking gorgeous. And that's it. It was getting ready to storm, so I had to hurry. And it was a quick tour. It normally takes me a lot longer to do this. This is where I had potted up that sedum I had transplanted. And I'm just showing you that this is my first tomato in the ground for 2023. And I think I'm concluding the video with that. And that's it. So thank you for watching so much, guys. I'm going to do another tour soon.